Can you hello, everybody. A second, I just got my little get up over here. I had to reorganize my little office space. This is my study area. I have laptops, TV screens, tablets, everything all over the place. But welcome, guys. Hi, Stella. Hi, Robert. How are you? If you're new to the channel, please, if you're just joining, say hello. I don't bite. Okay. I may cuss a bit, but I don't bite. So, guys, welcome. For anyone who's new, anyone who's just joining, anyone who's pouring in. This is Narc Abuse Survival 101, kind of like Sex Ed 101 or, Psychology 101. All right. This channel has been created to help people who are victims, survivors, and of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, relational abuse, any form of toxicity in family and relationships. Okay. I've been there. I've done it. I've heard it. I've seen it. I felt it. I know pretty much what it is. And it's for that reason I am currently a college student pursuing my degree in psychotherapy, because something's got to give. So, got to do what we got to do, right? All right. Just want to give some people some time to come in. I know that I said I'd be here at 9, but I'm doing it a little bit earlier because I have a lot of studying to do over the weekend and a lot of work to catch up on. So, but welcome. Hi, C. Wills. How are you, sweetheart? Dwanda, how are you? Hi, Asia. People are making me feel bad that I called the police on him. Listen, you call the police if situations are getting out of hand. So it's been 5 days, no contact. We call the police if a situation gets out of hand. I'm familiar with it myself because I have been in a domestically abusive relationship, actually a couple. And you got to do what you got to do. So people can say what they want to say. I mean, listen, if something happened where your life was in danger, or if something happened where the person was stalking you or threatening you, or doing unnecessary things to put fear into you, you do what you got to do. Okay, just plain and simple. Do what you have to do. I want people to start focusing on not being so concerned about what other people think and what other people are saying, opposed to what it is that you need to do for yourself. Okay? I say it all the time. What other people think of you, what other people say about you is none of your concern. So don't even be focused on that. Don't even bother with it. If people do not understand your circumstance and you are forced to call the cops, you're forced to do whatever is necessary to protect yourself by any means necessary, do what you got to do. You got to call the cops to get them off your lawn. Do what you got to do. You got to call the cops because they're showing up at your job. Do what you got to do. These people, I say these people because they are a completely different group in itself, okay? Narcissistic people are people who take. They do not give. They take. They look for what is best for them. They think about themselves. You're pretty much disposable. You are disposable. You can be reusable. It doesn't matter, okay? They do what they want to do to fulfill whatever selfish need it is that they have. And at the end of the day, if you had to call the police because typically they do stalk you, they monitor you, even if they're with new supply, even if they're dealing with other people, even if they're putting on social media how happy they are and, oh yeah, I'm living my best life. That's all for show. It's all for show. Huh? Oh, hold on one second, guys. Oh, okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I guess we got a storm that's going to be coming in, so hopefully TikTok won't cut it off again, hopefully. But you got to do what you have to do. They continuously monitor you, even if they're in relationships with other people, even if they're doing their own thing, if they're with their new supply, their new boyfriend, their new girlfriend, their new their new sneaky links or their old sneaky links, whatever they are. Just to give a heads up, because I know there are some new people that do come in. I just want to make it very, very, very understandable. Well understood. My content can be very triggering. So if you are at a stage, okay, where you dealt with a narcissistic person, you have gone through an extremely brutal discard, and you're not sure of whether or not you can handle the truth, because when I speak with intent and I speak explicitly, meaning that I don't hold back. It can be very triggering. And if you feel that it's too much, you don't have to stay for this live. It streams on my other platforms, which is Facebook and YouTube. So you can always go back there if, when the time is right, when you feel ready to do it. Okay. If you're at that point, trust me, I know what you're feeling and I know what you're going through because I went through it quite a few times. But, my last relationship, I went through it immensely. Okay. So just understand that I'm very upfront. I'm very honest. I'm very blatant. And yes, I'm brazen. But I'd rather give you the real deal because bullshit has been given to you throughout your relationships and enough is enough. Okay? But know that it comes with love. It definitely comes with love. People who know me already know that it comes with love. Hi, Chris. How are you, sweetheart? He refuses to sign the divorce papers. Why? Because he wants to torment you. He wants to torture you. He wants to make it hard for you. He wants to drag this through to make you feel every single bit of aggravation, every single bit of distress, of stress, of pain, of confusion. He wants to pretty much make you feel worse than you've already felt at the time that you have gone through a discard, or you have gone through your relationship, or you've gone through the many ups and downs in that relationship. They drag things because they want to make you feel. Narcissists get off on your pain. Okay? People who are extremely selfish, people who are extremely detached, emotionally detached. These are people who are pretty much like this. I went through it. Nobody gave a damn about me. So guess what? It doesn't matter how I do it to you because that's the way the world is. Okay? These people were trained to believe that nobody is going to have their back. Nobody's going to love them genuinely, sincerely. No one is going to fulfill them the way they need to be fulfilled. They walk out their doors feeling this way. You ever notice how you were trying to do everything you possibly could do to make them feel good, to, make their day brighter, to, show them how much you love them, show them how much you care? You ever notice how you did all these things? And what happened? Nothing was enough. It was never enough because there was always something wrong. There was always something. Oh man, this is not working for me. This is not fulfilling me. This is not fueling me. This is not making me feel good. This is not, it's always, this is not. And it's your fault that they're not happy. It's your fault that they are not feeling good because at that point in time, you were their emotional punching bag. So you are the one who was supposed to remedy what they are feeling, remedy the internal struggles and the demons and the trauma. You were supposed to remedy all of that. You became their emotional punching bag, their psychological punching bag. And when you could not take any more because they could not take any more from you, and you are just like, I surrender. I don't know what else to do. You're not fun anymore. You're no more fun. You are no more fun. You can't take my beatings anymore, my lashings. You can't take my projections. You can't take what I dish. And then on top of it, if you try to stand up to them, or if you try to say, well, you know what, you're treating me horribly. You're not treating me the way you treated me when we first started seeing each other. What's the most common response? What's the most common response? I'll give you one. Well, if I treated you so bad, then why are you with me? Why are you still here? Why are you bothering with me? If I'm such a horrible person, why? Why are you still sitting here trying to make it work with me? If I'm so bad and I'm all this and I'm all that. And you think you're loving them at their worst, you think that you are just, trying to make it better. And all they keep doing is telling you that what you're doing is making it worse. But then if you stop and you don't do anything about it and you don't try to make it better and you say, okay, fine, I give up. I'm not going to do it anymore. Then they come back to you like, you don't care about me. You don't love me. You don't, I do whatever I can do, and they flip it on you. I would love to know something. If you guys just met them, right? Let's say you met them a year ago, you were dating, you went through the whole spiel, okay? And you're at a point now at a discard. What I would love to know is, and if anyone could give me, because the math ain't mathing, but please, because if anybody can humor me for a second, I would love to know, when did you become responsible for how someone else feels? When did you become responsible for how someone else feels about themselves? So if someone tells you, I'm not happy, that sounds like a you problem. Because I wake up every day thanking God that I'm alive. I wake up every day that I can kiss my son every morning. I wake up every day feeling okay. And yet you tell me I'm not happy. Okay, you're not happy. So what do? What you do is you try to figure out ways to make them happy, but you didn't realize, or at the time you didn't really think about it, that wasn't your responsibility. You're not happy. Figure out what the hell is wrong with you. Figure out what the hell is not making you happy. Because if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing in this relationship, I'm treating you kindly, I'm giving you respect, I am being loyal to you, I'm catering to you, okay? I lay down with you when you want it, I cook for you, I do everything possible in this relationship. I fulfill my part in this relationship, and you are still telling me that you're not happy. Guess what? That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. And if you were to sit there and tell them that, you're the one being selfish. You're the one being inconsiderate, right? But you know your role. You knew your place. You knew what you were doing. You knew everything down. You had everything down packed, and you never skipped a beat. You never skipped a beat. But I'm not happy. Then get happy. I don't know what to tell you. But you know what? You're not thinking that. Anybody who's going through the discard, you're not thinking that right now. What you're thinking is, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing, or what am I doing that is pushing this person away? You're not doing anything. I'm going to give it to you straight. You're not doing anything. You're being who you are. You are overextending yourself. You are giving more and more and more and more. And what they have you on is the hamster wheel. The more you continue to give, you keep trying to prove yourself to them. You keep trying to show them, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do to make you happy? Stop that. Stop it. Okay? Because I was there. I did the same damn thing. What can I do to make you happy? What can I do to change this? What do I need to change about myself that'll make you accept me more? That'll make you love me more? What can I do that'll bring that spark back into our relationship and that will bring us back together close again? What can I do to not get you to go back to your ex? Or what can I do to keep you from having a wandering eye? Or what can I do to fulfill whatever it is you want me to fulfill, while you give me less than what I truly deserve? You give me bare minimum. You don't give me much. But what can I do to serve you, master? Because that's exactly who they are. In these types of relationships, they are your masters. They are your masters. You worship them. You worship them. You bow down to them. You fulfill them. You give to them. Okay. So for every time they give you a little piece of bread, you're giving them a whole damn loaf. You're just like, oh my gosh, this little piece of bread is so good. And it's not a great grand gesture, but it's something for me. You take that and you're like, okay, I love it. I love it. They're feeding you a little piece of bread and you're giving them a whole damn loaf. Meantime, they're sharing that loaf with other people. They're sharing that loaf with other people. They're giving the bread that you put into their hands and they're sharing it with other people. They're putting people ahead of you, so they put you on the back burner. So if you have plans with them, or you like, you know what? Because don't ever expect them to make plans. Please don't ever expect them to make plans, because they will not take initiative to be creative. And the reason being because, well, like I said, I've said it plenty of times, their personalities belong to someone else. Their personalities belong to someone else. Their personalities are projected personalities of other people. Okay. So for them to be creative in their own way and try to make things happen between the two of you to keep that spark going, to keep it flowing. No, 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 baby. That's your responsibility. That's you. That is your responsibility. You have to make the plans. You have to be the one to, keep things flowing, keep the spark alive. You have to keep them interested. They don't have to do anything. They got you. They got you. I don't have to do much anymore. And throughout your relationship, because you were accepting the bare minimum, thinking any day now, any minute now, this person's going to change. This person's going to give me what I deserve. This person's going to give me what I want. Never happens. Never happens. And then you become complacent in accepting what it is that they give you. And then when you complain about it, because you're sitting there wondering when it's going to happen, when you complain about it, all of a sudden now it's a problem. Why is it a problem now? Why didn't you mention this to me before? Well, if I'm so bad, what did I just say earlier? If I'm so bad, why are you here? Why are you here with me now? Why are you with me? Why are you in a relationship with me? Whew. Absolutely. Unclean spirits. One-way relationship. It's my way or the highway. It's my way or the highway. What they want, if you don't fulfill it for them, they're going to give you an attitude. They're going to give you an attitude. They're going to get snippy with you. They're going to probably more than likely start arguments with you, because one way or another, they're going to get what they want. It doesn't matter. They may, you could be sitting there just relaxing, watching a movie, and all of a sudden, boom, something that you did or did not do a week ago. You could just be watching a movie and all of a sudden an argument comes out and you don't understand where the hell it came from. You're like, we were just watching a movie. How did we go from watching a movie to arguing? How do we go from, doing something so, something so small to arguing? And it's a constant battle. It is a constant back and forth battle. You're constantly trying to prove yourself. You're constantly trying to meet with them halfway. Did it cut off again? Okay. You're constantly trying to meet with them halfway, but there is no halfway with them because it didn't cut off, right? Okay. I want to make sure, guys, because I know the weather out here is pretty bad. Hi, country. How are you, sweetheart? You're trying to meet with them halfway, but they don't meet with you halfway. They don't compromise with you simply because narcissistic people are black and white. It's all or nothing. It's either or. There is no compromise with them. So when, and I live with this logic. Black and white, when they meet together, that very thin line is gray. That's where the compromise comes in. That's the middle. Meet me in the middle. No, I won't meet you in the middle. I won't meet you in the middle because meeting you in the middle means that I have to leave my comfort zone. Meeting you in the middle means that I have to, walk away from what I'm complacent with and going into uncharted territory. And if I'm going into uncharted territory, then I have run the risk of losing control of the situation. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So you're either going to do this and keep me satisfied and or I'm going to show you what can happen. And and everybody's relationship is different. Not everyone's going to experience the same thing at the same time. It could be, it could be anything. But oftentimes, for example, if you're not soothing their insecurities, if you are not stroking their egos, you must be doing something wrong. You must be out there talking to somebody else. You must be cheating on them. You must be doing everything that every ex ever did to them. That is the mind frame. That's the mindset of them. You must be out there. Well, you're not giving me attention, so you must be giving it to somebody else. And the fact of the matter is, you if you have children, you have children. I have a child. I have an autistic child. I used to work nights. I worked nights. I worked long hours. I worked 2 jobs. I have a child. I cannot soothe your insecurities. You should have done that before you got into any kind of relationship with anybody. You should have gotten rid of the baggage and did your trauma healing and everything that, but they're not going to do that because they're in denial about what they do, who they are, how they act, how they present themselves. They're in denial about everything. So they're not going to do any of those things. Picture, people ask me all the time, do they go for help? Can they change? Can they get help? Do they go for therapy? You picture yourself, you taking a narcissist to a therapist is like taking a child to the dentist. Okay? Ain't gonna happen. At least not without a fight. Okay? They will not go. They will not say, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe we should try to figure out what's wrong. Maybe we should. No, they will say, I'm not the one with the problem. You're the one with the problem. I'm not the one who has any issues. You're the one who has issues. Because all the while you're getting bare minimum, and all the while you're getting this hot and cold behavior, this Jekyll and Hyde effect. You're getting all of these, all of these things, and you're looking at them like, I know I'm not crazy. I know that I'm not crazy. What is wrong with you? Something is just not right. But they flip it on you. They flip it on you because when you're complaining, or if you are the one who argues about something, because it could be something such as being disrespected, it could be something to the effect of, forgetting a special date for you, or whatever the case may be. When you notice that there are inconsistencies and you notice that there is inconsideration and you bring it to their attention, now you're the one who's making a mountain out of a molehill. You're the one who has the problem. You're the one who wants to control everything. And a lot of us have fallen for that. Maybe, we reason with it. Maybe I should back off a bit. Maybe, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I am being a bit overbearing. Maybe I'm being, how is it that you demanding respect, how is that being overbearing? How is that being, you know how is that being, what's the word for it? Oh, I don't, on the tip of my tongue. It's being, oh my gosh, I had the word right on the tip of my tongue. If you know the word, please shout it out. Demanding, but there's another word for it. But it's like you're being unreasonable. Such an easy word, and I couldn't even say it. You're the one being unreasonable. You're the one who is, just making. You're being ridiculous. You're making things up. You are not. You're just mad because they're not spoiling you. You're acting spoiled. You're being a spoiled brat because you want respect, because you want some attention, you want a little validation. Who doesn't want that in their relationship? You want these things, but they're not giving it to you. And why is that? Because you have to earn it. Did you know that? Did you know in your relationship you had to earn? You had to earn the basics. We're not even talking about, we're not even talking about gifts and special privileges and stuff like that. We're talking the basics. These are things that you have to earn. You have to earn me being considerate to your feelings. You have to earn that, because narcissistic relationships are transactional relationships. They're transactional. Let me check my book and see what you've done for me lately, and I'll think about giving to you what you're claiming you deserve. Transactional. What have you done for me? What have you done for me lately? And I notice this a lot with female narcissists. I notice that a lot with the females. Female narcissists are in that alley, especially since they're very exploitative. Okay. Female narcissists exploit not only other people, but they exploit themselves too. And they put themselves in this category of, if you want my time, if you want my attention, if you want to be with me, or if you even want to be affiliated with me, you have to be able to present something that is of value. And if not even, let me backtrack that for a second. Not that is of value, but you have to present something to me that is of value to me, that I consider to be valuable. In the meantime, these are the same females, the same types of females, okay, who will ride on your back for a meal, okay? They'll ride on your back for a meal. They'll try to convince you to buy things for them, or use their sexuality, or use their bodies, or use whatever to, to pretty much hook you in. They may use their status. Listen, I've seen plenty of them. I've seen plenty of females that, something, and quite a few that I know personally. All right. I'm not going to say their names because at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I've seen females who use what they have to get what they want. I see it all the time on social media. I see it all the time when I see it on videos, or when I hear podcasts sometimes, or when I hear people talking, yeah, you got to go and you got to use dudes and everything. Let me tell you something. When I see females talking like that, when I hear them talking like that, that lets me know you're mad at your father, mama. Sorry. But you're pissed off at your father because either your father left you, your father just left, or your mom did some stuff that pushed your father away, and she pretty much manipulated the whole situation. And listen, these are females who are unhealed. These are females who are filled with resentment. They're filled with anger. They're filled with hatred because they internalize the abandonment, whether it be emotionally, physically, psychologically. They internalize it and they project it onto men. So now they look at it as, well, I got to go out into the world and use men because men ain't shit. Men ain't shit. What good are men? And that's simply because they feel that way about that male that was in their life, or they could have experienced their mothers dealing with different men in life. Because listen, narcissistic mothers, they project onto their daughters. They extend themselves through their daughters. If you haven't seen it already, check out my video on narcissistic daughters. I'm sorry, daughters of narcissistic mothers. That video, I have it on YouTube. You can check it out on there. I have it also on Facebook. But they extend themselves through their daughters. They live vicariously through their daughters, and their daughters become a mirror image of their mothers. And they either become extremely, the thing of it is, it depends on how they internalize it. They can become extremely detached, emotionally detached, where there is just, it's all about power. It's all about getting what I want. It's all about, I deserve the best. I deserve the best. Let me ask you something. You go in for a job interview and they tell you, well, you got to work your way up in the corporate ladder. And there are no other jobs out there. Jobs are scarce now. A lot of people have been losing work. You go into an office and say, I'm here for the job. And they tell you, well, listen, it starts off in this position, but you work your way up. You get promoted. You get, benefits. You get this, you get that. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and say, no, I deserve the best. Everybody got to start somewhere, don't they? We all got to start somewhere. But these are the kinds of females that think that, well, I don't have to really do the work to get what I want. I don't need to work on myself. I don't need to do the work. I don't need to prove anything to you. It's you who has to prove everything to me. And there are people who have convinced them to believe that that is the case. They think that what they have between their legs is powerful. Oh God, man. There's how many? 8 billion people. And we'll say, for argument's sake, 8 billion people on the planet, and 4 billion of them are women. And you sit here thinking because what you have between your legs is more valuable than the next female. Meantime, the next female is caring, loving, a nurturer. She's giving. She's, she's respectful. She's all about family. She's about morale. She does what she needs to do. She takes care of her kids. You're going to sit here and tell me, no, no, no. I'd rather be a woman that's good for a lifetime than a woman that's good for the night. Because that's simply how it is. These are the kind of females who cannot sustain relationships. They're extremely toxic. Extremely toxic. Okay? They will have you, and fellas, again, trigger warning. Okay? They will have you feeling like you're not man enough. They will have you feeling like you got to do more. You have to do more to prove yourself to them. And I'm sorry, but the only one you really got to prove yourself to is God. Who are these females? Who are these females? Meantime, women such as myself, women such as Amanda, women such as a lot of you women, we're just basically hiding deep under a rock, because it's like we're getting sick and tired of dealing with men who have dealt with these women and have not healed. They haven't done the work to heal from these women. They haven't done the work to heal from the treatment of these women. So I make it my business to let men know, listen, what she put onto you, that wasn't your fault. When she emasculated you, that was not your fault. Okay? She did everything possible to tear you down because she wanted to mold you into what she wanted you to be so she can control you. She knew she could control you from the beginning, no matter how beautiful she was, no matter how sweet she was, because in the beginning, everybody knows. You see the representative. So she had to work her way around it. And women are very meticulous. Women can lie. I can lie. I could sell water to a freaking whale if I really wanted to do that. But these women do these things to you guys, and it's sad. It's messed up. It really is messed up. As a mother, and I have a son, it's extremely messed up. But oftentimes it's because of something, but there's no excuse. There is no excuse. Trauma is not an excuse. Abuse is not an excuse. We've all been there. We've all done it. We've all gone through it. And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter how much I've gone through, I would never treat someone that way. Yes, you can, Cynthia. You can love someone and have boundaries. My husband is disrespecting me and threatening me because I want to walk away. It's because he's scared. Let me tell you something. When they do stuff like that, right? When they are threatening you, when they are arguing with you, when they're trying to tear you down, when they're trying to make you feel like, like you're a piece of crap, or they're trying to do things to deliberately hurt you, it's because you are walking away, but it's also because they know that they're not going to get the benefits that they got from you while they were in the relationship with you. Listen, people need to understand, if you have a quality about yourself, okay, it's a rarity. It's a rarity to find someone that you can not only connect with, but that you can be transparent with, that you can be vulnerable with, that you can do things with them that you never thought possible, and have a companionship with them. It's so hard to find that. So why do you think they act that way? Why do you think they get upset and they get volatile and they get crazy? Because they know that they're not going to find what it is that you provide for them. They will find instant gratification. Yeah. Who can't find that? That's everywhere you go. Instant gratification is everywhere you go. No matter where you turn, sex is everywhere. Whether you pay for it or you get it for free, it's everywhere. But sustenance, okay? Morale, respect, transparency, sincerity, all of the basic, and these are basics, guys. These are all basics. You can't, it's a rare thing to find out there. It really is. It really is. Count how many times you tried to date someone and after a while it fizzled out. Whether it be you, them, or them, it just fizzled out. Either you're too, well, I'll use myself because I always use myself. I'm a boring person. I'm an extremely boring person. Don't let the looks fool you. Don't let my, my tattoos and everything. I'm an extremely boring person. I like to be home. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't party because that takes going outside. That takes spending money. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to buy a house. So I'm not wasting my money. I'm not going out to bars. I'm not going out to clubs. I'm not doing any of these things. I am trying to establish, I'm trying to build something because I need security. Why? Because I have a child. That is called responsibility. Narcissistic people don't know responsibility. They don't know responsibility. And they couldn't even really balance a checkbook for their life. So it doesn't even, but they don't know responsibility. But because you are the kind of person that is trying to build something, you're the kind of person that wants to create a strong future, secured future. After a while, it's like you're not exciting, and they'll flip that on you. I'm cheating, or I'm out there. I'm doing my own thing. I'm hanging out with people, and I'm ignoring you, and I'm doing all this because you're no longer exciting for me. And they go for it, and don't don't be deterred by what they go for. Please don't be deterred by what they go for. Okay? Because if you go back and you see what your ex was going for, the kind of people that they were aiming for, you really have to look at it like, man, I really dodged a bullet. You got to think of it that way, because that's the way it is. I dodged a bullet. I didn't have to do any of the things that I did, but I did it because I wanted to. If this person says, hey, I'm just not happy, it's not exciting, you are, it's just getting boring for me, and, I just want to be single, whatever, which is, it's BS, because 9 out of 10 times when that happens, it's usually because somebody else piqued their interest. Somebody else has already caught their interest, whether it be someone new, whether it be someone from their past, what have you. Somebody else caught their interest. And a way to keep you around, because again, I'll explain this to you. If they go for someone in their past, they already know what that person is about. They already know what the possibilities are, what the chances are that shit is not going to work out between them. Because if you break up with someone, there's a reason why they're your ex, okay? There's a reason why you're exes. You guys broke up for a reason. Whatever that reason is, you broke up for a reason. There was an incompatibility, and boom, it was done. Okay? If they end up going back to that very ex, it could be the ex they told you about, it could be an ex that they didn't tell you about. But if they end up going back to that ex, they already know that that's going to be short-lived. It's not going to be anything really concrete or permanent, because again, they've already gone through it with them. Okay? If they go on to the new person, the first thing they're going to do is, because they're still going to be with you in the process of this, okay? They're going to pretty much figure out that new person. They're going to study that new person. They're going to, try to work their way around to see where that new person's mind is, what type of person they are, and pretty much what they can do to maneuver around them. But this is all while they are with you. This is all while they're in the relationship with you. They have checked out long before your discard came. Okay? And by checked out, I don't mean that, oh, I fell out of love. Because in actuality, narcissists, they don't know love. So they never really technically loved you. They love the benefits. They love what you could provide. They love the idea that you were giving them attention, and you were giving them affection, and you were, catering to their needs. Yes, they loved every bit of it. But the fact of the matter is that to them, relationships are disposable. It does not matter how long you've been together. It doesn't matter how much time you spent together. None of that matters. Okay? They checked out a long time ago. It was just a matter of time of, trying to figure things out with regards, and I wish I could, listen, I don't know, maybe people in here are going through certain things, and they're curious to understand it. The way you'll know is they no longer, coming towards the very end, I can't say, well, I can't speak in broad terms. I'll speak in my terms. I noticed that the person was pulling away. I noticed that the person was becoming more agitated and, you know, starting arguments. Didn't understand why, but they were picking arguments. I noticed the intimacy completely dropped, absolutely dropped. I noticed certain things. And when it came to trying to speak on it, trying to effectively communicate about it, I would get met with aggression and anger, and it's like that. Erica, you don't know what you're talking about. You always have a problem. There's always something, or this famous line. Sometimes I think all you care about is being in a relationship. That line was like, why? Really? Really? I'm working 2 jobs, busting my ass, paying bills, taking care of my house, taking care of my kid, doing what I have to do, and you're sitting here talking to me, talking about all I care about is being in a relationship. Yeah, okay. But I got met with all of those things, and I just noticed little by little, and I was like, something, I would try to revive it. I would try to perform CPR on it. I mean, I tried everything that I could do to try to fix things, because this person was unhappy and I needed to know what I could do to make it happen. Little did I know that person's unhappiness had nothing to do with me. Had absolutely nothing to do with me. It's pretty much, they don't want to be attached very long, because one, they don't want to lose their freedom. They don't want to lose the ability to date around. They don't want to lose the ability to be on their own. You have a lot of different people who experience different things, but it's more so, I'm not trying to give up my freedom. Okay. Emotionally detached people are simply like that. They don't want to give up their freedom. They don't want to, because compromising means giving up my freedom. Being committed to you, because you have people say, well, you got people who are commitment phobes. People who are commitment phobes are simply because either they experience some really messed up relationships, or they witness extremely messed up relationships, primarily due to their parents. But you're not born a commitment phobe. You're not born that way, because we're naturally born with empathy. We're naturally born with feelings of connection. We are naturally, where we gravitate towards connections, because it's what makes it, and listen, it's what makes the sun come out. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel good to connect to somebody. These people who do not connect, if they're commitment phobes, if they are emotionally detached, if they are emotionally unavailable, it's primarily due to the fact that they have experienced such trauma, such heartbreak, such betrayal, because you have betrayal wounds. You got people walking around with betrayal wounds. Yes, there is a thing as a betrayal wound. It's a wound that is so deeply inflicted. It could be from a young age, or it can even be in your older ages. But they walk around with these wounds thinking that everybody is the same, and everybody, so they're easily triggered. They're easily triggered. You could say something, and if it's a key word that would trigger them, they'll just go ballistic. They'll get very, very volatile, and you don't know what the heck happened. But at the end of the day, I want you to understand, whether they have betrayal wounds, whether they have trauma, whether they have, commitment problems, or, they have trust issues, or they have paranoia, whatever the case may be. That does not excuse the behaviors that they have performed, that they have demonstrated at the time of your discard, at the time of your relationship. That doesn't excuse it. It does not excuse any of it. And I'm telling you, hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. They can come to you saying, listen, I have mental issues, I have X, Y, and Z, because they will sit there and blame everyone else for their problems. I'm like this because of my parents. I'm like this because, I grew up with abuse. I'm like this because, okay, yeah, that's partly true. That is partly true, but I'm still holding you accountable. I'm still holding you accountable, because you have made choices, People use the word mistake. I don't use that word very lightly. I don't use that word very lightly. If they come to you and say, hey, I made a serious mistake. No, you made a choice. You made a choice. And because now you are reaping the consequences, you want to refer to it as a mistake. And it's simply because it had a bad effect on you. You don't give a shit about me. You don't care how it affected me. You don't care you didn't care what you were doing to me while you were doing whatever the heck it was that you wanted to do, living your best life. And I'm, licking my wounds. You didn't care. But because the circumstances didn't really roll into your favor and they actually became consequences, now you want to use the term mistake. I made a mistake. I don't take that term lightly because at the end of the day, you make a mistake, it's like instantaneously. It's instantaneously. You step on someone's foot, that was a mistake. You apologize. I'm sorry. Didn't see you there. My mistake. Okay? You I've used this analogy. You pour salt into your coffee because you thought it was sugar. That's a mistake. And people often misconstrue mistake with choices. So when people come to you, when your exes come to you, when they're trying to hoover you back in, suck you back in, I realized so much. I made a mistake. No, 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 no. That don't work with me. You made a choice. You knew what you were doing. You did what you did. You had no regrets. You didn't regret it because when after everything was said and done, and you treated me horribly and you talked to me horribly and you decided to try to make me compete for your attention, you try to make me compete for your love and affection, you threw, again, I'm using myself as a reference, you threw other females in my face, including your ex, okay, trying to get me to continuously chase after you so I can stroke your ego while I'm sitting here trying to fix my broken heart, and you want to tell me it was a mistake when you knew how I was feeling, when you knew what it was doing to me, when you knew that you could have taken another route. You could have said, something, I know that this is really going to hurt her because, you know, things are the way they are. So let me refrain from doing things out of consider. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. When they do things to hurt you, when they purposely do things to hurt you, when they sit there posting up pictures on social media and they got all these people, feeding into them, throwing them compliments and, oh yeah, you're so sexy and you're so beautiful and this and that or whatever, when they just the day before that sat there and treated you like a piece of trash. Let's think about that. The day before they started posting all of this stuff up and I'm living my best life and I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm enjoying myself. The day before they took that picture that they put up on social media, they were sitting there treating you like a piece of shit, talking to you like you weren't a human being, making you feel like you had no value. They were sitting there and, oh yeah, and then they were doing it and doing it and doing it, and you were being reactive. You were like, why are you doing this? How could you do this? How could you, do all of that? And they're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Stop looking through my stuff. Stop doing. Okay? They were gaslighting you and they were telling you all of these things. And you're like, yo, I see what you're doing. And you're like purposely hurting me. And I didn't do anything to deserve that. Oh, you're over exaggerative. You're oversensitive. You always want to argue about something. You see, you know what? I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't need to say anything to you. You know something, blah, blah, blah. And they just throw all of this. And they're sitting there doing all of that, posting up all that. And then what happens? What happens when the grass ain't so green? When they see that, okay, yeah, this is boring to me now. Because it was boring being with you. It was boring after a while being out there. But they're like, you know something? Let me go back to my emotional punching bag. Let me go back to the person that, that I can convince to take me back. Let me go back to the person that if I just bat my eyelashes or I pucker up my lips, okay? Or if I come in and show them my big print, okay? Let me go back to the person and manipulate them again so they can take me back. And what do? What do? They wait. They may hit you up on an occasion that, you know, it could have been a holiday, it could have been an anniversary, it could be your birthday, it could be, you know, shit, it could be your dog's birthday, right? They hit you up out of the blue, out of nowhere. Hey, how are you? How are things with you? And blah, blah, blah. And act like nothing happened. Act like nothing. And you're sitting there looking at your phone like, what? Like, what the fuck? What? Wait a minute. But then again, if you were anything like me, I'm not ashamed, guys. I'm not ashamed to admit the things I have done. I'm not ashamed to admit the things that I have said. Because I practically begged this person to stay with me. I practically was like, listen, bro, please, you're making a big mistake. Please just, you know, let's see this through. Let's work it out. Let's talk about it. You know, I really think you're making a huge mistake. And I'm telling you right now, I know what kind of person I am. I know what I offer in a relationship. I know what I bring to the table. So when I say you're going to regret it, trust and believe you will regret it. You will regret it. My loyalty is, it's beyond that thick steel. Like, that's how loyal I am. Okay, my loyalty is bulletproof. My loyalty is bulletproof until you forfeit that. Because once you forfeit that, that's it. It's done. I'm not dealing with you no more. I don't have to be loyal to you anymore. Once you have shown me that you are not worth my loyalty, I don't have to be loyal to you. And by the way, keep in mind, guys, if you walk away from the mind games and you walk away from the manipulation and the gaslighting and you walk away from the triangulation and the attempts to make you jealous and make you compete, if you walk away from all of that, you are being disloyal. You're being disloyal to them. You are, you're giving them a reason. This is their mind. You're giving them a reason to say, see, I knew it. I knew it. You never really loved me. You never cared about me. You walk out just like everybody else does and blah blah. Don't let them do that. And if they do it, don't fall for it. Do not, please do not fall for it. Don't fall for any of it. Okay? But in sitting there, I broke no contact. I'm very big on no contact, guys. So if you're in no contact, please continue to do that. Please continue. Yes, Danielle. Yes. And you're absolutely right. I loved him wholeheartedly. And I didn't see it at the time. I didn't want to see it. I was in denial. I refused to see what it really was. And I kept trying and trying. I begged, I pleaded. Guys, when it happened, I threw up. Like, I literally threw up on the side of the street. And I was like, I don't understand. It's just, it was so confusing because I really didn't get the closure. You know, listen, closure for me is like, yo, be honest, man. Just be honest. If you want to go out there and screw around, then just say, look, I just want to be single and I want to screw around. But don't play these mind games. And then when I bring it to your attention, you're trying to make me think I'm going crazy. You're trying to tell me you're crazy, you're this, you're that. You're talking to me like just straight robot. No emotion, just straight robot. Like, the person that I fell in love with and the person that I walked away from were two totally different people. They weren't the same person. And I was like, that can't be. And I tried to reason with it. This is not you. I don't understand why you're doing this. And the more I begged and pleaded and the more I tried to push myself onto them, the more I kept saying, we've been together all this time. Why would you want to give up on us? And, and looking back, I noticed the more he would do things to, like, probably make me react more, push me to be more reactive, push me to chase after him more. It would work. It would work, And then when it came to, because, listen, anybody who knows my content and knows my channels, and I'll be 1,000,000% honest, because Amanda, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Anybody who knows me knows I don't like his ex. Don't like her. I'm being 1000% honest. I'm pretty sure she watches me from fake pages because I got her blocked too. But I don't like her. And at the end of the day, she knows how I feel about her. And I'm pretty sure how she feels about me. Because at the end, even though he was the way he was, she was the way she was too. So she was no saint in this game. She knew what she was doing too. Let's just put it this way, guys. She tried to gain off another woman's pain. And when I see a female like that, oh, that's it. That's completely, that turned me off, like completely. Because I was going to reach out, which more than likely what a lot of you will probably do if you haven't done it already. You may try to reach out to their exes. You may try to reach out to them to get some kind of information, to get clarification. Like, listen, did this ever happen to you when you were with this person? Did you guys ever go through this? Did they put you through this? I almost did that, and something stopped me. Something just stopped me and said, listen, just watch, pay attention and watch. That's your intuition. When your intuition's telling you to do something, please listen to it. Listen to it. I stopped myself and I saw with my own two eyes, I saw the two of them reconnecting. I saw them basically interacting more on social media. And of course, this was after he put that he was single. Because when they put their single, oh, baby, let me tell you something. All of a sudden, a whole flood of different people come on social media. Different people commenting on photos, different friend requests, more followers on Instagram, more people, giving attention. It's just a pattern. It's just what they do. But when I saw that and I said, okay, I see what it is. Because see, here's the thing. She knows what type of person he is. She knows how he reacts, how he responds. And she knows that if she pushes his buttons enough, she will push him into narcissistic rage. She will push him into, some form of traumatic rage. And I've explained this last week and I'm going to say it again because he's in a trauma bond with her as well. Okay. So when I see females do things like that, it's like that, okay, oh, she's out the picture now? She's gone? Because let's face facts. She knows that he doesn't sustain relationships. He doesn't stay in relationships very long with people because he's bound to screw it up because he self-sabotages. He self-sabotages because whatever the reasons are. I'm not his therapist, so I couldn't really say it. But so she makes it her business to be around him, which was why it's funny because he told me I'm friends with my ex. I never really heard of that, but okay, you're friends with your ex. He wanted to be friends with me. He wanted to, listen, and it wasn't it wasn't with terms of endearment either. It wasn't, listen, maybe when you're healed and you're feeling, when you're feeling better and blah, 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 we can be friends in the future. No, I got you can't take my friendship. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. And if anybody's wondering, yes, I'm from New York. That's how we talk. But I couldn't understand it. And I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here. But I saw what it was. I saw what it is. And it's a toxic cycle that they do with each other. So they're both pretty much toxic people. The both of them are. Okay. And they get back together. Then they go through that cycle because narcissistic people can be in relationships with each other. Yes. They get back together. They go into that toxic cycle. Then boom. They go out into other things. Or if she wants to discard him, she'll discard him. She'll say whatever to him, make him feel like crap. And then he'll get pissed off and he'll leave or whatever. And then she'll go deal with somebody else. And then he'll deal with somebody else. And then that'll break up. And then they go back together. It's just a back and forth thing. That was a merry-go-round that I was not going to play on. I'm not playing on that. Thank you. I wasn't going to play on that. Okay. If they try to tell you, let's be friends, or if they try to say, I want to stay in contact with you because, regardless, I love you, regardless, we have a connection, no, por el amor de Dios, don't do it. Do not do it. Do not accept their friendship. Do not accept anything from them. Do not accept any of it. Don't. That's just a way to stay in your life. That's a way to keep tabs on you. That's a way to see if you're in a relationship. Hence the reason him and her are still friends. You understand? It's a way to see what's going on in your life. So if you are dating someone, they can closely monitor who you're dealing with. If they see that you're going to be in a relationship with someone and you're going, and it's going on a lot longer than anticipated, than they thought, then they have to really try to fit themselves into your life. So they have to try to tug at your heartstrings, or, try to kind of slither their way in. Like, listen, I know we've been through what we've been through and all, you know what I'm saying? And, you did your dirt, I did my dirt, you did your thing, I did my thing. No accountability, by the way, none whatsoever. But, you know how it is. I mean, but that's old news. And, listen, let's just wipe the slate clean and, leave the past in the past. Let's be friends. Okay. I know you're in a relationship with somebody. I know you're seeing someone or whatever. And I'm happy for you. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And I want you to be happy. You know, Maybe we could be friends when you're ready. We could be friends. And what happens? You think they're being sincere. You think that they're being, you're being forthcoming. You're being sincere. You're being transparent with me. Something, let's be friends. That will be the biggest mistake you make. Because not only will you screw up, and you can mark my words on it, not only will you screw up the potential relationship that you could have with someone else by keeping them in your life, okay? You run the risk of them coming right back in and doing the same thing over to you. I've seen it happen, guys. I have seen it happen. Okay? Just like you were discarded and they go back to their ex, or they go to the new person or what have you, you will end up finding yourself in a position to discard someone else to go run back to your toxic ex, to go run back to your narcissist ex. Okay? You will find yourself in that position to do that, and it will make you no better than them. Because not only did you end up hurting someone else, okay, someone who probably would have treated you better, probably cared about you, probably wanted to do anything to make you happy, all the things that you did for your narc ex. If you allow them to stay in your life, even as a friend, they will find a way, it will happen, to manipulate situations, tug at your heartstrings, because they know that you cared about them. They know that you love them. They know that you probably still do love them, that you never really got over the trauma. You never got over the pain that they put you through, and you're like, screw it. We could be friends. I mean, I'm with somebody right now, but we could be friends. And what happens? You start to reminisce. You start to remember the old times. You hang out, or you're talking on the phone, or you're texting or whatever. You start to think about the old times. They're tugging at your heartstrings. And what happens? You end up screwing up a good relationship with somebody else, because now you're torn, you're confused, you don't know what you want, you don't know what to do. You know daggone well that they didn't treat you right the first time, second time, third time around. You really think they're going to do it this time? So not only do you end up losing someone really good, you end up losing someone and possibly giving them trauma. Okay? You not only end up losing someone good, but you end up going back into that situation and starting the cycle all over again. And this time the discard can become way worse, extremely worse. Don't do it. He wanted that blind loyalty. Blind loyalty. It's that you can sleep with whoever you want. You can be with whoever you want. You can date whoever you want. But when I want you, you come to me. When I want to be with you, you come to me. That's that blind loyalty. They don't care if you're sleeping with somebody else, because they know that you're not emotionally involved. They don't care if you are, because let's put it this way, they had so much control over your emotions. They had so much control over how you felt about yourself and how you felt so little about yourself. You develop these thoughts of inadequacies. You develop these thoughts of not being good enough. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve better. I don't deserve more. I don't deserve. And they manage to convince you that, listen, what I give you should be enough. So what you end up doing is you end up taking it. They tell you, listen, we'll be friends. I'm your friend. We'll be friends. But they end up, and again, friendship is a way to stay in control in your life. It's a way to keep that leash on you. even though you don't see it, it's a way to do it. They get to monitor you. They get to see who you're dating. They get to, if you have kids, they'll ask your kids, okay? They'll ask your kids, what's going on over there? What's mommy doing with her boyfriend? What's daddy doing with his girlfriend? Oh, how does daddy's girlfriend look? They'll sit there and put the kids as pawns and ask them all kinds of questions to be involved, to know your business, to know what's going on. Because if they ever want to maneuver or if they ever want to shoot their shot, they got to make sure it's at a time where they know that bad things are going on in your relationship. You have arguments, if you have, disagreement with your partner, and you reach out to them thinking that they're your friend, thinking that, you know what, I'm going to reach out to this person because they're my friend, maybe they can help me. All you're doing is feeding them intel. You're giving them intel into your relationship, and they're going to tell you, what are they going to tell you? What are they going to tell you? What do you think your ex, as your friend, what do you think your ex is going to tell you to do with your relationship? They're going to tell you what maybe you shouldn't be together. Maybe, because when you're becoming vulnerable, even if you're in the heated in the moment, we have friends, right? My best friend is Amanda. Amanda's my best friend. I talk to her about she gives me sound advice because she's my friend. She has my best interest at heart. An ex, a narcissistic ex, they don't have your best interest at heart, especially if they're trying to find their way back in so they can get some of that good that you're giving to the next person. So they're going to give you advice to deter you from your relationship. Maybe you guys just aren't compatible. Maybe you're not meant to be together. I know you. I know you so well, and I know how you are, and I know what you like. And it just seems like your partner just isn't doing that for you. Meantime, they're the ones who were pulling the strings the entire time you guys were together. They're the ones who were lying and cheating and doing all kinds of stuff, and yet they still managed to convince you that it's okay to be friends with them. They're not gonna tell you anything beneficial to your relationship. And psychology, really, psychology says it's not a good idea to be friends with your ex. It's not, because your genuine happiness is really not their priority. It's really not their priority. Even so, listen, if you have an ex, I'm not saying everybody, but if you have an ex and let's say they're having a shitty end of the stick, they're having bad relationships, but you are, in the prime of your life and you're having a good time and you're enjoying yourself and you are actually happy, there is going to be some resentment. There's going to be some form of bitterness. And that's not just with exes, that's just with any friends. Especially if they're not having the same type of relationship that you have, they're going to feel bitter about it. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you feel that your ex is narcissistic, if you feel that your ex is, and then, because we don't diagnose anyone over here. I can't diagnose anyone. I can only give you signs. I can only give you, tactics and a lot of the things that they would tell you. It's not a good idea. Please don't break no contact. I know it's hard for those who are struggling in no contact, but I want to reach out to them. But I wonder if they're okay. But I wonder, don't wonder, don't worry. Don't wonder, don't worry. They're not your concern. They're not for you to worry about. They weren't worried about you when you were dealing with everything that you were dealing with. You don't need to be concerned about what they're doing, who they're doing, where they're doing it. You need to be concerned about your healing, and you need to be concerned about moving forward. What the steps that you have to take to progress, because you can't, if you stay in this, I guarantee you it's going to push you into a deep depression. It's going to make you feel like you're going in, it's going to make you feel like you're going insane. I felt that. I really did feel that way because I was so clueless as to what it was, and I had done nothing. I mean, listen, we know the basics, okay? We take accountability for enabling behaviors. We take accountability for being toxic in our own ways. I suffered codependency. I suffered codependency a great deal. I take accountability for, for my own toxic ways. Of course, we've all been toxic to somebody in our lives, but at the end of the day, what happened to me was just straight up malicious. It was straight up uncalled for. It was uncalled for. It was malicious. It was disgusting. It was disrespectful. It was just beyond me. And that was what catapulted me to say, I something's got to give. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than this, because the way I was being treated, I could understand if I cheated on him. I could understand if I, disrespected him, if I emasculated him, if I made him feel like less of a man. I can understand that. I can understand if I did things to make him feel like he did not feel safe. I can understand that. Okay. But I didn't do any of those things. I did not do any of those things. Like, literally, I would listen. Amanda knows me. I would say it. I would say, yeah, I was being a little hell. I mean, no, I didn't do anything. Like, literally, didn't do any of those things. But at the end of the day, choices were made. Choices were made. Consequences were reaped, and it is what it is. But in seeing what I saw, it pushed me to move forward. I don't want to be a part of that. That's too much drama. That's too much baggage. That right there is like, and please, I have to say this. Don't reach out to their family. I have to make it a thing each time I do a live. Don't reach out to their family. Don't don't bother with them. Do not bother with them. I don't care how cool they are with you. I don't care how cool you were with their mom. I don't care how cool you were with their sister, how cool you were with any of the family members. Don't put yourself in the position to reach out to these people, because I'm going to tell you right now, even though you could have been with them 5, 10, 15, 20 years, their loyalty is going to be to that person. It's not going to be to you. Okay? That's their blood. That's their relative. That is someone who they got to deal with, because you're no longer in the picture. Their loyalty is going to be with that person. And if you stay in contact with any family members, if you stay in full contact with any friends, mutual friends, or what have you, it's just going to continuously bring you back to that traumatic stage, that trauma bond that you're trying so hard to break free from. Their family is not loyal to you. Their family is loyal to the game. Okay? They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to the game. Often people like this come from toxic family members too. A lot of their family members are toxic because a lot of their family, they enable these types of behaviors. Okay? For someone to be like this for so long and continue to be this way, and they are close with their family, that is enabled. That behavior is enabled. Okay? They're no better. They're no better. All right? And at the end of the day, if you reach out to them or if you try to get answers, you're not going to get answers. You're not going to get the closure. You're not going to get the answers that you want. You're literally going to have to, you're going to fight tooth and nail, but you're literally going to have to walk away with the apology that you more than likely will never get. Okay? And I want you to understand that, because that is a strong possibility that more than likely will happen. Okay? You will never get the apology, the sincere apology that you deserve. You will not get that. If they come back and they apologize to you after doing everything, or after the gaslighting, after the lying, after the cheating, after whatever it is that they did, if they come back to you, it's attached with something. It is attached with something, whether it be, any kind of motive, it will be attached with something. And if you do decide to take them back, especially if a short period of time has passed, that's not enough time to heal. That's not enough time to change. Don't think that, oh, well, a couple of months went by. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, sweetheart. Don't think that a couple of months went by and, okay, this person, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again this time. They come back to you, please do not for a second think that you're special. I mean, you're special, but in that moment, don't think that you are. Because the reason they come back is not because I had an epiphany, I saw the white light, God has, shown me what might be the errors of my ways. No, people saw through my bullshit, and I am cold and I'm hungry and I need a place to stay, and I know that you still got feelings for me, and I know that you still feel the way you do because I left you on red, and I left you feeling like shit, and I made you feel like you will never amount to the many women or the many men that were giving me attention. And I know you love me. I know you care about me. So why don't you just let me in, and you know, we'll figure it out. That's not flattering. That really isn't flattering. That's not flattering at all. Okay? Don't let them manipulate you. Don't let them try to persuade you. Don't oh hey, listen, let me come pick you up from work. I just want to talk. Nope. No. Talk to my voicemail. Say all the things you want to say, leave the messages on my voicemail, and if I get around to it, if I feel like it, I'll listen to it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Okay? I left stuff at your house. I'll FedEx it to you. I'll FedEx it to you. I got a problem with that. I'll spend $13 on overnight. Don't have a problem with it. Okay? Anything of theirs that you have, any property of theirs that you have, pack that up, box it up, seal it up, label it, ship it out. You do not let them back in your house. You don't you want to, this is the true definition of no contact. You want to make sure that they do not have any access to you. No access, okay? You have to really use discipline and willpower because it's going to be tough. Okay? It's going to be tough. It's going to be painful. It's going to be a long road, but you know, if it comes easy, then it's something's wrong. Something's wrong. Yes, they want something from you, and when they discard you again. It's always coming with something attached to it. Whatever that is, it's coming with something attached to it. Okay. And at the end of the day, you have to think about, people ask me, what should I do to avoid, or what should I do to prevent myself from going back into that? Write down all the shit that they did. Write down everything. Write down everything they said to you. Write down every word for word. Write everything down on a piece of paper. You write it down on a piece of paper. And whenever you feel yourself about ready to cave in, or about ready to, reach out, or, accept their invitation or what have you, read to yourself everything that they said to you. Read to yourself everything that they did to make you feel like crap, to make you feel like you were not worthy of love, to make you feel like you were disposable. Read everything. Remind yourself, this is the reason why I'm staying away. This is the reason why I'm staying away. This is why I am not reaching out to this person. Okay? You want incentive? You want motivation? Write down what they did. Don't stew in it, but just write it down. Sit there and say, oh, okay, yeah, yep. Discarded. So the discard phase, ignored me, but was flirting online with other women. I sent the message, left me on red, but was out hanging out, drinking, doing whatever. I reached out to him, cursed me out, treated me hard, whatever it is that you have gone through. You write that shit down, and you use that as your mantra as to why you do not break. And write it up top. Reasons not to break no contact. Reasons not to break no contact. Write them down. Write them down. And I guarantee you, each and every time you remind yourself as to why you're staying away, you are going to pass another day, and then another day, and then another day. And it's going to get to the point that the days are going to start coming so easy to you. You're going to start sleeping better again. You're going to start eating again. Anybody who's, how I handle stress, I stop eating. When I'm stressed, I don't eat. Some people who do get stressed, they may eat a lot. Everybody's different. But you'll start sleeping better. You'll start going to bed with less anxiety. Okay? Less anxiety. You will start to open yourself up more to being a little bit more active, maybe even being proactive. You'll open yourself to these things. Hi, I'm sorry, guys. Hi, Kara. How are you, sweetheart? I'm sorry, guys. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook. I have this on my tablet, and I just keep rambling. I keep going on with it. But you'll start to notice different things. You'll start to notice that you're starting to take care of yourself better. You're starting to take care of yourself more. You may go through the, anybody who's going through the initial stages of the discard, you're probably in withdrawal stage, and withdrawal stages are very, you just got to be careful with it, because it could push you into a state of anxiety attacks, panic attacks. You don't want to do that. Okay? That's just separation anxiety. When you are going through a breakup, when you are going through a discard, you are experiencing, this is synonymous to losing someone to death. You are going through separation anxiety. Okay, your body is so accustomed to you're physiologically attached to the person. So you're so accustomed to being in that person's presence that when your brain is trying to send signals, and vice versa, your body's trying to send signals to your brain to understand that this person is no longer around. This person is no longer here. This is over. We're not together. They're with someone else, or they're doing this, they're doing that. You're going through, it's hard to describe. The only thing I can tell you is, if you've gone through it, when you go through withdrawals, you have no control over your body. Your body is like, you think you're going through a seizure, I guess you could say. You think you're having a seizure. Your body is withdrawing, because the heavy manipulation, the traumatic bonding in your relationship, believe it or not, you have become addicted to it. You became addicted to everything throughout that relationship. So now that you're not together anymore, it's like an addict coming off of a drug. You're not together anymore. So what's your body doing? Your body is reacting to it. Be careful with that, please. I went through it, and I thought I was having an anxiety, panic, and heart attack all at one time. Be very, very careful with that. Each day gets better. I'm at so much peace. I ignore all the love bombing he tries to. There you go. Because you're detaching. You go through the separation anxiety. It's like the stages of grief. You go through the separation anxiety. When you get through that part, now you're going to go through your stages of grief. Denial, anger, resentment. You're going to be feeling so many different emotions. You're going to probably think that you have multiple personality disorder. That's how bad it's going to be. But you'll get past that. You'll get beyond that. And then you start to go through, you go through because in the midst of the acceptance stage is where you're becoming detached. So when you become detached, out of sight, out of mind, okay? Out of sight, out of mind. The more they stay out of your sight, the more they stay out of your mind. Believe that or not. That's why no contact consists of not only you blocking them, but you have to keep everything private, or you discontinue or disengage from social media altogether. Take off all your social media. Don't go back on social media until, I would say, I can't even say an amount of months, but I stayed off of social media about 4 or 5 months. About 4 or 5 months, I stayed off of social media. All right. If you have a business or whatever the case may be, have other people, because you just don't know if you have a good friend or someone, an associate who can, look through your messages just to make sure. If you have, because they can try to find ways. They can use their family members to reach out to you. They can use their friends to reach out to you. They can use their own kids to reach out to you. If you're not sure, if you have a good friend you can rely on, have them look through the messages. Have them look through to kind of filter it out. Let them filter it out. So that way they could just block them. Just block whatever comes through. So you don't have to go through it. Okay? Because it can be very triggering. It can be very triggering. And please stay off of their social media. Don't go on their social media. Don't go looking for anything on their social media. You will not find anything beneficial for you. You won't. I guarantee you won't. Okay? You will not find anything beneficial, because they anticipate you going through their social media. They anticipate you going through the heartbreak stage of, oh my God, what is he doing? What is she doing? Where are they going? Who's this person that they're with? And you're gonna drive yourself crazy with it. We all know why they're doing it. We all know why they do it. Okay. And now that you know why they do it, and now that you know why, who they're doing it with, and you look at it like, all right, whatever, dude. Whatever. Whatever. This is who you are. And you're gonna get to a point you're gonna get really disgusted. When you get to that disgust phase, you can talk to them as clear sitting right in front of you, and you won't feel a damn thing about it. That's the phase you want to go through. You want to get to the point that you're so disgusted that you're like, because when you vomit, what does that mean? When you regurgitate, you vomit, your body is rejecting poison. Your body is rejecting it. Okay? So when you get to that stage of the idea of you touching me, the idea of you being around me, the idea is because, and it's not your fault. Don't blame yourself for, feeling this way or even thinking this way, because they did what they did to put you in that position. Okay. I held this person in such high regard. Okay. Extremely high regard. So while he had people who was treating him like, he was nothing and respecting other people over him, you know, I gave him the utmost respect. I gave him the highest regard. Okay. I'll respect someone who put it this way. I'll respect someone who only has 10 followers opposed to someone who has, 2.5 million followers. Like that's where my mind frame is. I don't need to, be a follower. I'm always going to be a leader in my life. And at the end of the day, respect is a two-way street. They didn't show that to you. They didn't give that to you. They just decided, well, screw this, I'm out. You do whatever you got to do, and that's it. But they didn't anticipate you walking away. And since you did walk away and you are in no contact, now they're doing the utmost to get you to react, to get you to respond, because that's all it is. And once you break no contact, in their mind, you gave them the control back. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. It's not worth it. And trust me, you're not missing anything. Trust me when I say, if you're afraid to walk through the door, just do it. Just do it. You will not regret it. I promise you, you will not regret it. Yes, funny thing about covert narcissists, acting like they're very happy with every new supply. They're usually the types that they'll brandish their new supply in your face, especially knowing what you went through, knowing what they did to you. That's the part that gets me. It's like, I'm gonna just throw my new partner in your face, knowing what I did to you. That's not a human being. Okay. Alrighty, guys. User 747. Just breathe it in, breathe it out. A trigger is simply it's just an indication of you still need to heal. That's all it is. When you can walk by and walk through something and not be triggered, you'll be fine. But my lovely people, my lovely beautiful people, I am going to call it a night. I have a lot of studying, and I actually have a Google Meet that I have to do tomorrow with one of my classmates. But I said I was going to be here, and I'm here. Anybody who's new to the channel, hopefully you follow. I'll be back next week on Friday, probably around the same time. Stella, thank you for being here, sweetheart. Deborah, thank you. Thank you, Priscilla. I'm glad. Take whatever you can. And like I said, if you haven't already been there, my other platforms, Narc Abuse Survival 101, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook. There are plenty of videos there, plenty of other lives there. If I didn't get to answer anything in particular for you in this live, go to the past lives. We talk about everything. Okay. And if you need to reach out to me, narcsurvival101@gmail.com. Also, be sure to check out the website, narcsurvival101.com. It's designed specifically for survivors and, of course, victims of narcissistic abuse. It's for support purposes, so please definitely check it out. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, anybody who's new, welcome to the family. If you're here for good, if you're here to get through your healing, or even if you're just here to be support for other people, thank you just for being here. I'm always appreciative. I'm always appreciative of everything. And for those who sent me gifts, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. I will be back next Friday, same time, around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Send me a message, whatever the case may be. And for the other people who follow, who watch from fake pages, from the sidelines, yeah, continue doing that. You just continue doing that. You continue taking notes. You continue studying me, okay? Continue studying me. I want you to do that because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to stay, behind those sidelines, because you know better. You know way better than to try to come at me for anything. Thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. Chris, have a good night, sweetheart. Jason, thank you so much for being here. Guys, have a beautiful night. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. You know where to reach me if you need me. Okay? Love you all. Blessings, peace, love, God's protection, all that good stuff. You already know how it goes. I'll see you all next week. Good night.